Oh man, it's turned around on my face. It's Trevor Wesley music. Excuse me, miss. After you now. It's lame that it quits. Because I like it when it's all in one video. I gotta create a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Super annoying.
So, this is it right here, right? Loading.
I'm not sure.
So, sometimes it takes a second to show the extended one.
Yeah, it's called
It should
extended.
say extended.
Extends. Brought to you by Extends.
Oh, so this must not be.
Here we go.
This not it.
All right, we're back.
Is that it? No extends.
No, it should say pros and cons. Special guest Joel Friday extended.
Right.
All right. Sorry, everybody. Let everyone kind of trickle back in. The numbers are coming up. We got 12. What happened to that track with Anomaly? Ask Brandon. He's probably talking about. Well, there's a couple. But
Well, I think ever since this whole epidemic lockdown, Anomaly's been out of the state. He hasn't been here, so it's been slowing things down. Otherwise, had he been here, I'd have been bugging him to come over and finish it.
Nice to be back up.
alright.
What's up, Victoria?
Victoria!
In the chat.
Credit solutionist, everybody's using it. We'll fix your credit. Come on down, change. Come on down. Credit solutionist, everybody's using it. We'll fix your credit. See, someone with rhythm. No.
The pack.
Half of me has no rhythm. Yeah, YouTube
No,
is
you
tripping.
can play guitar.
They good too. I was
Alright.
like, what the?
Alright, so they're back, welcome in. So I was asking Joel, telling Joel about this Facebook contest that they put out, and maybe you guys heard about it, that they're trying to find a way to fight back against conservative / right-wing memes.
Decoding memes.
Yeah, because they have no way of reading memes, so they can shut down your comments and track your words, but they've never had a way to stop you from memeing them. And the joke is always that the left can't meme. So now he has a contest.
What you mean?
Yeah, what you mean? So he wants to pay someone $100,000 if they can figure out how to code software that would read a meme and somehow tell you if it's left wing or right wing, so they can block you.
Imagine being the guy that makes $100,000 to just ruin everybody.
But right, but don't you ever think at that point, if I'm doing all this, then I'm psycho? Like, don't people ever think that? Like,
What's all
okay,
this?
like if I'm going through all these lengths to try to censor these people for their free speech, that I'm off. You know, it just seems like,
especially with this whole virus
sense?
thing, it's illegal. You'll get arrested if you protest in real life, and now you're censored online. So slowly but surely, they're closing in on people.
Well, these for decoration.
America is going down the
hole. Those are for you.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Because I'm going in.
They're good, right? Those are, I think, clementines.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Look.
So what do you think about that, Joel?
About that thing?
Yeah.
Well, I know that we try to post a video on Instagram, and the title had immigrants in it. They wouldn't let us post it. Also, we tried to post a video on TikTok, and it was about a Muslim prayer. So that like these Muslims are going out and like at night, and they're saying a prayer loud on the intercom for like the whole city to hear. And we were like, we posted, we said, "What the? This is America," and they wouldn't let us post the video. So they are stepping up. It seems like to keep people from having their free speech.
Yeah. You can't talk about certain people at all. It's not even about freedom of speech.
See, once they start doing that, then people are going to start creating new definitions for words, and they're going to start talking in different codes.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Accept, press 1.
T-Warrior 1.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, miss?
Man, not much. I can't wait to bust my moves out on Joel, man.
Oh.
Ooh, he fucking Joel, that 30%.
The challenge.
That 30%, that's what's gonna make him lose, man. I got moves from way back in '92.
Whoa.
His uncle.
Did you ever dance, or you just have rhythm?
Man, I can't dance, man. I suck at dance.
What? Are you black?
I'm black, man. I used to be able to dance, man, but somewhere in my early 20s when I was going to the club getting drunk, it turned into kind of just dry humping to a beat.
Oh, yeah.
Man, when I was a kid, I could do all kinds of moves, flipping and all kinds of stuff. Early 20s, that went away.
Especially when you're high on
marijuana.
All that pot.
Have you called into the Jesse Lee Peterson show before? Your voice sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I called in, but it was like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
oh, dang.
Yeah, I called. I remember what I called about too. I called about Cardi B.
Oh.
Yeah, Cardi B at the Super Bowl. That little man, something wrong with that woman.
Oh my God.
Isn't she the one that admitted to drugging guys and stealing their money?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool because she's a chick.
Yeah.
Right.
She admitted it on her live stream that she used to drug guys, act like she wanted to hook up with them, like as a stripper,
Right.
and then steal their stuff. She's like, I had to do what I had to do.
I have a
Yeah, it's glorified, man. It's kind of weird.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's like when a certain class is perceived as oppressed, then when they do things that are out of line, people consider it acceptable.
That's so
You know?
true.
Yeah, people
Yeah,
feel
Because
bad for
that's
people.
so true. Is that people feel they say it's like, oh, it's okay. They say that they're struggling, they're going through pain, so they're allowed to say that's so true. And I think that's what people do with the black community is like they feel so bad for them, which is a false, evil type of care.
That's actually more racist because if you feel bad for someone, you pity them. And
Right.
you're basically looking down on them. That's why it's like if you're white and you'd be like, yeah, I have my privilege, and then that means the opposite of privilege is a
Right.
burden, and you think it's a burden to be black, and you feel
Right.
sorry for them, so you're gonna pander to them and be like, it's okay,
Right.
I'll say whatever
Let me
makes
try
you
to help you.
comfortable, and like
Yeah.
that's where I'm like, man, I actually have real love for black people, for all people. And I want to just speak the truth. I'm not going to censor myself and walk on eggshells and treat people different based on their
Right.
skin color.
You know.
Now, I'll give you a prime example, okay? So, JLP was showing a clip one time of this real fat black chick. She was at college, and she stood up and she was like, okay, everybody,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ask all the white people to leave because this is our space and blah, blah, blah. You know, dude, if a white person stood up and said that to black people,
Dude.
man, the world would be on fire.
Dude.
But since this black woman is perceived as, oh, she's so oppressed, well, she gets to say whatever she wants.
Right.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane, but it's like it's that mama spirit that people have to like feel bad because they're oppressed or whatever. It's insane, man. But you make a good point. Is that people just feel bad, so it makes them, think like, oh, well, they're too weak to. That's what they're really saying. You're too weak to be right. So
Even like
that's okay.
Even
Yeah.
like Puff Daddy, right? P. Diddy. He recently, like a few weeks ago, said something like, "Oh, we'll vote for Biden when he can change the community, the black community, and make it easier for them." But like that
Right.
guy's like he's successful, made a bunch of money on his own, right? So why doesn't he
Yeah.
believe that other people can do the same as him?
Right.
Because he's
Man, that's my same point with LeBron James. Because
Yeah.
to me, you benefiting. Here's my view. This dude, LeBron James, got millions, probably billions of dollars, right? Probably got 3 or 4 mansions. A mansion in Cleveland, mansion in LA, a mansion in Miami, right? And he's somehow being held back by racism. And I guarantee you, everybody that works for this dude is white. He didn't go hire Ray Sean and them from the block to work for him.
Right.
wait, everyone that works for him is white. So Sean King works for him.
Sean King's the main one.
That do something else. He never fooled me. He's just a white guy with a clean face.
He's Bubba Ray Dudley.
Yeah, LeBron wears Michelle Obama brand jock straps. The summer sausage edition.
It's
Oh,
crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, these are good.
Hey.
What's up, T?
Oh, man, I was going to ask Joel, whose idea was it to, and I know I'm calling you Joel, bro, but I'm from Texas, so that Joel stuff don't play down here. We call it Joel. That's just like if your name, Sade is not a name, that's Sadie. That's Sadie over here.
What about me, man? They call me Rashard out here.
They call me Trevor.
They call you Rashad. And they call Beard Dude Big Beard.
Yeah, Big Bayard.
Trevor.
Bayard.
Hey, but whose idea was it to remix that song like that stand up?
Oh, that's Trevor.
That's all.
Oh yeah, I made a
That's
beat.
Trevor.
I just made the beat, and then I posted that first instrumental, and then
Hey, that's all.
yeah, and then it was like, dude, let's get Joel and Big Bump on it, because we're all from, and go to church, and yeah, it just came together, man.
That's one of my favorites. That's actually my favorite one.
Yeah.
That one, I know I told you this before. That one, and then the wall going up, and he black.
Yeah.
We're trying to get
He black.
we're trying to get stand up placed in a Viagra commercial.
Oh God, play that during Jesse's show.
Stand
You're like,
up.
what the? I thought he was in the back beating Joel and Nick up the other day. When the
Everybody's
screen
like,
went off.
Exactly.
what's going on? Hey, man, is it true that you have 8 kids?
Yeah, I have 8 kids, man. I have 5 kids by my ex-wife, and I have 3 kids by my current wife right now.
Oh, okay.
I don't have no kids out of wedlock. I ain't no beta.
Yeah, right on. I think I remember you calling in. Did you tell Jesse that too?
No, I never told
okay.
you. I only talked to Jesse once, man.
Oh, okay.
I only talked to him one time. I want to call him sometimes, but I work construction, man, and I'm out there, slanging sledgehammers and stuff, so I can't be on the phone
Right.
trying to call,
Are you talking about work, or are you talking about how you made those 8 kids?
Both.
Swinging sledgehammer.
Sir, you're gonna have to put that sledgehammer away.
Yeah, man, so. But be honest, I listen to Jesse's show every day. I have my headphones in. I just listen to all 3 hours, man, the whole time. Then I listen to the 8 report.
Right on, man. Well, nice to meet you. I'm sure your voice sounds so familiar. I think I remember you calling in, but good to hear from you again, man.
Oh, man, it's good to hear from you, too, man. I'm going to go ahead and get off the line. I'm pretty sure somebody else ain't getting the call.
For sure. Thank you, T.
Right on, man.
My man.
Hey, yeah, I'll let you guys.
All right. God bless.
All right, you too.
All right.
Actually, someone was just saying, we got a couple requests in the chat saying, can Joel do a verse from Stand Up?
Stand up. We are fighting to
Stand up.
Talk to your mama, better stop at the drama, better drive on the trunk. Boy, you better stand up, man up. Put your hand up, man up. Cause if you don't, then we lose, and then we gotta hear the baby.
I know we can find a way.
Yeah, I don't know how man.
Way, I know we can find.
What's good?
We're rebuilding the man. Boys used to be boys. Gotta do it right way. That's God's way. We're still stuck in the fallen state. Anger, resentment, judgment hate. That's what's wrong with the world today. Muscle not against flesh and blood. Principalities thrown in us. Principalities thrown in us. Principalities. I know. Shout out to Big Bob. He's not white. Not the hate news, but the fake news. That's right. The fake news media. The rape report. Rah rah rah. So the call lines are open again. 818-308-5559.
8-308-5559 with special guest Joel.
Yeah, we got Mr. He Black himself, so feel free to call in. Any questions, comments?
30%.
So I was talking to Trevor about skydiving. He said he doesn't feel like he's ever gonna go. And you went.
Ooh. Dude, to be honest, when I found out I was going skydiving, it was the day of, and I was like, you know, there's some things you just gotta like let your mind process. You know?
You're like, this, hold on.
Right? You like, you know, like, is it today? But then once you do it, it's not what people think. You know, there's two things that people say, like, oh hell no, or they say like, you know, it's a life-changing experience. The one that I went to, you know, the way, you know, it was set up for me and everything.
What had happened was,
yeah, well, the way it was set up for me was the cool part. But when you go up there and do it, like, it's so quick that you don't have time to experience a life-changing. You know, I think those parts are a little dramatic, but it's fun. But it's not that, you know, as scary as or as high as. I mean, if you parachute,
not when you're holding on to boo boo.
I was on the bad thing is that you sit on another guy's lap you don't know.
Yeah, his crotch is right against your back.
And you just got to deal with it. So that's the only thing that's a little weird, but I mean it's cool, but it's not as bad as everybody, you know, makes it.
We're like, get off me, bro.
Right?
This is not a stick up. This is just a very tall man.
I do have a question though that I posed to bros and cons and also the people in the chat. Why do you think women get away with so many things so easily? Why do you guys think?
Because of feminine privilege. Duh. No. Why do I think women get away with everything?
Yeah, why do they tend to get away with so much stuff? Like, you know, because there's that whole thing where it's like, don't talk to women that way. Don't hit. You never ever lay your hands on.
I think it's the same kind of idea of the black community that, like, I realize that women and men are different, right? And men should be the leaders,
right?
Because we're logical. It's not in our nature to be emotional. Women are more emotional,
right?
So, the world, especially nowadays, you look at you know, Instagram, social media, everything. Women put all of their power into sex, you know, and so because their main source of power comes from physical body and you know seducing and those kind of things. They feel like you know, like the typical hot girl that's gonna like get out of a ticket because she's hot, or you know, get a job because she's hot. It's like there's that makes people know that even if they don't want to admit it, they know it, and so they have this sense of wanting to prove like, I'm not just all tits. I'm really smart too, and I'm, you know, and then they want to compete with men.
Right.
And I think that because people really know that women put their power in the sexual, that they feel bad for them that they're not putting their power in the other, you know, the logical side.
Right.
And so they feel bad for them, and you know.
I would say that it's just like you said, it's that same excuse. They've convinced men to think with emotions and not with logic. So you feel, the world teaches you to feel bad and feel like a jerk or an a-hole for telling a woman to shut up or you're being illogical. But if anyone needs to be told that, of any of the two sexes, it's women. And it's not a hate thing. It's just that because of their nature and their tendency to fly off the handle with emotions and be illogical and just, like Sean Connery said, just carry on and on and on, and they're never happy with the last word.
Right.
Sometimes you need to be firm, and for some women, like Sean Connery, in his experience,
Yeah.
they may require a slap. Do I think I'll ever get to that point? I don't think so.
Right.
Like
but-
which one?
I get what you're saying.
But if anyone
I get your
needs it,
point.
it's
Yeah.
likely that spirit.
Yeah.
You gotta slap that spirit.
Right.
Which one would have
Yeah.
more repercussions if you said to a guy, "Shut up, man," or to a woman, "Shut up, woman"?
Obviously, shut up, woman, but it's
one
like,
hits a little harder, you know.
right. But it's like, it's that whole, because everybody knows that most women tend to, because they're emotional, they tend to fall on the weaker side when it comes to men and women. But because they fall on the weaker side, they feel like that whole same thing with like how white people or certain people feel about the blacks. Like it's just like that thing of like, oh well, poor you type thing. You know what I mean?
Not
but it's
all,
like,
but yeah, most.
yeah, right. But it's like that poor you type mentality is like, to where just because she's a woman, we know that she's weak,
Right.
so to speak. We know that she's weak, so let her like whatever. She's no threat. I think that's what
Women
the issue
are
is.
more of a threat than men are because they have such a capacity for manipulation
Right.
that men, they stand no chance. If you're going to fight in their world with
Right.
manipulation and emotions, we have
Right.
no chance of winning.
Right.
We have to stay in logic.
Right.
And like T said,
Oh,
we
100%.
left. It's like we left our first estate. We left the territory of God to go play in the mud with these
Right,
women
yeah.
and get lost in their emotions.
Yeah. No,
And it's so
100%.
easy to be manipulated for most people because
Yeah.
people nowadays want to prove so bad that they're a good person.
Right.
Just like
Yeah.
with these things like the jogging thing, where if you oppose the narrative, then how dare you, the climate change, how dare you, you're
Right.
a bad person, you don't care about the climate,
Right.
like all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So now,
which are all shallow things.
so people want to act like they're this great person by standing up for the lie, really.
Right. That's going off of that. It's such a, like what you said, a shallow thing in the sense of like the whole thing, like nurses are heroes thing, like
Yeah.
the whole. I was thinking about it because that's like a thing now, the nurses being a hero, and I know people who are, they're. Here's the thing is that
I know black people, man. My best friend's black.
Right.
I know nurses.
It's
My best
like
friend's a nurse.
it's what I'm saying because my mom was a nurse, but I never looked at her like you're the hero. But those people who do those those jobs that require certain things like look at the job that's praised the most, military vets, and they always say like, I respect you for doing your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. You guys are the heroes. You guys. It's almost a shallow way of looking at things because you're just on the surface saying, because everybody knows what they do. They go out. They go out on the surface to fight. The line.
It's your job.
It's your
You
job
signed
to
up for
do.
that.
It's your job to do. So it's like you sign up for that. So the fact that it just almost makes people feel good. Like these nurses are like, why we should be respecting them. Every day. I mean, this is what they've been
Why are we
doing.
giving all of a sudden? Why are we giving them trophies and
Right.
throwing rice at them and putting like little
Right.
ribbons around their neck? Like,
All of a sudden, exactly. It's like you've been they should have been getting the credit before, and people deserve their credit. But when you try to make people out to be more than what they are, like heroes and all that stuff, it just
Pedestals.
And
yeah.
who comprises most nurses? Women.
right.
So
right.
these egos that are already
I
through
know.
the roof, and we know some of these nurses, they're nice,
right,
good girls,
right.
but now their egos are gonna be twice as big.
That's why you always have to check. That's the thing that we're talking about is you have to check women in those moments because they need to be checked because their egos do go out of control because they do
It's that
feel
humble
like this.
ego, it's like, oh yeah, I've saved 20 lives today.
Right.
But and it could sound funny, like someone who doesn't, could be just tuning in and being like, oh, wow, how dare you?
Right.
But I get where you're coming from because at the end of the day, we're free in America. We get to choose what we want to do, and a lot of people choose I think, choose these jobs because they want the titles, the labels of them. You know, it's not because, you know, a lot of people that do music too, like, you know, they're gonna do music because they want the fame, that, you know, all the other stuff. And like, I've met people that join the army or didn't join the army but wear army bags, you know, try to act like they are so that they can get the attention from it, you know, because there are people that are really good at what they do, they enjoy it, but it's the people that complain and use it to like trying to manipulate people, like everyone's gonna be quiet because they know best, you know, like I'm gonna you know, like I've saved this. You don't know how many people have died today in front of me. You know, kind of thing. Where it's like, yeah, well, you signed up to do that. You don't know what you were getting into. Like, why are you trying to rub it in my face when that's what you that's what you do? I expect that to happen.
It's the ego. Yeah, it's a lot of ego plays into it, but you also play into people's ego by giving them more credit than what is due. Yes, let's just say that all these nurses are out there not making TikTok videos and they are saving lives.
Right.
You know, it's like, if that's the case, then, you know, kudos to you. Keep it moving.
Yeah,
like they don't need
just say good job.
Right.
You don't gotta say, you know, you're a hero.
Right.
You know, just, you know, hey, at least you showed up for work today.
Right.
That's good.
Right.
You know.
That's why no matter what you do, I found that it's better to give all glory to God.
Exactly.
Because when you start taking the glory and getting the attention, like, you know, people message me on Instagram or whatever and be like, they love my music and stuff like that. And it's like either whether it's be negative comments or positive comments. If you start internalizing it, it's going to start to change and mess with you, whether it's positive or negative. And that's why I realized that the whole emotional thing, it's positive or negative, it's still the same coin, and it's not a good thing because you don't want to fluff up your ego. And then you also don't want to take it to heart, and if someone is criticizing you, you know, you start judging yourself. But either positive or negative, they're both judgments. So it's better to just, like, you know, I'm not God, so I'm not going to be the judge. I'm just going to be like, thank you, moving forward, and not internalize it.
Mr. has a good comment. He says, heroes step up without monetary compensation. I think a hero is somebody who goes above and beyond when you're not expected to do it.
Exactly.
You know, like you're walking down the street and you save someone's life that you didn't sign up for it. It's not your capacity to do it. It's not your job, but you did it. You overcame it and you helped them. That's more heroic than anything.
And if you're a veteran or a nurse, you can be a hero, but just being with that title doesn't make you a hero.
Yeah, because what if you're a cook in the military? Thank you for your service. What? No, thank you for taking my tax money and, you know, getting the job.
Yeah, but if you had you taken a risk and a chance outside of what you're supposed to do to save somebody and do something.
Yeah, commendable. I got a buddy who's a surface rescue swimmer for the Navy. He's about to finish 20 years, and he does things that are very, very dangerous. He lost an entire crew that could have been his chopper. They were flying out to the Pacific just recently near Guam. The first chopper lands on a ship. They were in heavy waves, and the captain made a bad decision to turn the ship into the wave, or against it, I forget. Big wave came over, hit the chopper, broke part of it off, and it started jumping around and went over into the ocean.
Did they say, it's a wave?
It's a wave. And they lost everybody. And it would have been his chopper if he would have got there first. And they looked for them, and the crazy part is they just got to keep going. Like, they got to get on with their job, and it's a cold reality where, like, they don't tell the family for a few months because they got to finish the investigation. And they don't stop to just end all operations and spend the next few weeks looking. They look for a few days, did their search, and that's it. And they move on and they get on with their job. And he's very matter of fact about it. You know, he doesn't feel like, he's very humble. And when people tell him thank you for your service, if I remember him right, he just says, you know, I'm just doing my job. It's a humility thing. Like, even if he is a hero, it's good to be humble and let God have that. You know?
Here's a question: do you think it's better to know when you're wrong, or do you think it's better to know when you're right?
Do you think it's better to know when you're wrong, or better to know when you're right? When you're wrong. I think it's better.
What do you think, Richard? Is it better to know when you're right, or better to know when you're wrong?
Better to know when you're wrong. I'd rather know when I'm wrong, because then I know which way right. By knowing that, I know where right is.
Exactly. But I think that a lot of people these days want to prove so much that they're right, but they never want to look at where they're wrong. You know, and like if you're driving your car and something's wrong with your car, you're excited to find out what's wrong with it. But you know, people are not excited to find out what's wrong with them in their car. They'll find every excuse to try to, you know, act. You know, it's like parents and kids, right? I remember as a kid, I would feel like I'd want to know. I need that praise, like to know when I'm right. Like if you're gonna tell me what's wrong with me, then you gotta make up for it by telling me what I'm doing that's right. And like I think my parents would do that naturally, like my mom, because she'd be more emotional. She'd want to like hit you with a wound and then patch up the wound and then like balance it out. When if you were just because I noticed Jesse's like Jesse doesn't compliment, like Jesse only calls out what's wrong, and I totally understand it because that's the only way you're going to be able to do if it's just like hate and love. Love is the absence of hate. So if you can recognize hatred, the only thing that's left is love. If you have no hate, then you have it.
It's like Jesse doesn't. It seems, and I'm not him, but he doesn't risk feeding your ego. He doesn't go over. He doesn't have to tell you like, "Oh, you did an amazing job." Like, he'll be like, "Oh, that's nice," And that's how it should be. Like or even if he does say it's amazing, he's not adding anything extra. He's just like amazing. Yeah, it's very level.
Yeah, I think that what to the point is that the spirit of what being honest, like you said, what your mom did. It's like she had to give you it this way and then pat you up with it, whatever the case is. But if you're genuine and honest about the truth that you're giving, it doesn't even come off as oh wow, they may be taken back by what you said or whatever, and it may be a thing. But if your intention was good about it, you don't even feel the need to have to be like, well, let me give them something.
Because it's usually going to be that spirit in how you deliver it.
Right.
You're going to feel this guilt, and you might not even know why.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. So if you feel that guilt, then it wasn't for the right spirit. Because if you gave it right, and you were honest, and you had no malice in it, then it's like you're clear.
And a lot of people, it's like if you do point out and correct someone, say it's your best friend or family member or something like that, and you tell them something's wrong with them, especially women, they're going to want to come back and tell you something wrong about you. They can't just take it.
Right.
Like, I know my mom is like that, my sister's like that. And not all the time, but I know that they're the ones that I would think of first that would be like that if you correct and say something. It's like, well, you're kind of, now that we're talking about what's wrong, well, you do this. It's like, it's got to be this thing where it's like, all right, well, it's a diversion.
I know.
I think I saw a question for Joel earlier.
Yeah.
Does Joel dream? Lin Chen with a super chat. Thank you, Lin. Danny too.
Lin Chen.
Does Joel dream of giant robots or remember doing so as a child?
What is that? I always see him talk about.
Will he honor all white baby engineers who build giant robots in the future?
Was he saying no black engineers? Shit.
I don't know what the robot thing is. I always see your super chats or your comments about robots. I don't know what that is.
I think he likes robots.
Or something.
Yeah, he's a proponent of giant robots. Do the right thing for humanity as a whole by helping to restore white majority in Western civilization. I agree, Lin Chen.
That's such an interesting topic because it's so off limits these days. Like certain topics are off limits. Like just acknowledging like whether America is
a white country.
Founded by white people. Is America, because it's so easy to say, China is Chinese people, Africa is African people, and America is a melting pot, and there's like this whole thing. It's like if you have pride in America and you're white, then you must be racist. Yeah. If you want, it's weird. It's like if you're white and you want to have America be majority white, you're absolutely a racist. But if you're a Chinese and you want China to be absolutely Chinese, that's cool.
Prior to 1965, we were talking about earlier, there was the Hart-Celler Act, which is the Immigration Act, which opened the floodgates of immigration. And it was obviously pushed by certain people in the government that knew the power of this. It was, to get votes, to get loyal people. It wasn't to help American workers because they actually put people out of work, and it led to the problems we're living with today with low wages and this myth that without Mexican workers, for example, in the field picking fruit, we wouldn't have people picking fruit. Prior to 65, this country was majority white, like not like 50%, like over 80%, at some points maybe 90%. And then the middle of America you had mostly German immigrants, Norwegian. So if those guys were the ones farming and picking fruit, why do now people think that it's not that way and it's always been Mexicans or any other group, and they put these people on pedestals, and then they make white people feel bad.
What do you mean these people?
Yeah, why do you think that they do that? Like,
What do you mean? So what? So you're saying? What do you
So
mean?
these people want they believe in a history that it's always been like Mexicans and minorities.
It's built off the backs.
They did all the work when this country was majority white, like overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
So where were they when all that farming was taking place, all that building of the country, all that expansion? Where were these people, and how can they claim that now? And is it wrong for a white guy to feel that way about it?
So is it wrong for a white guy to feel as if
He's losing his country?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I think that it's wrong. That's a good topic because I think that I have nothing against people who want to preserve their their people, their color, and do all that stuff. Like, do you? And I do my thing, have my beliefs. But I think it's wrong when people get caught up in trying to change things that are or getting caught up into it. Because if you want to have you want it to go back to how that is, then do what you have to do. Do your part to play to where you can
go marry a white girl. Have some white kids.
Go marry a white girl. Have a bunch of white babies. Move to the country where you have most of your land. Then a bunch of land or whatever the case is. When your kids grow up, they get married, they have babies, and then maybe they're on the land that you bought. Then you can start doing something
just
like
be
that.
the example, whatever it is you want to be.
Exactly. But when you care about it, and then now you try to get all into it, it's not racist, but it is. People do see that passion, and that passion is wrong.
Is observing it though, because what they don't even want to acknowledge is these guys, and I know a lot of them online, and I stay friends with them because even though others will write them off and say these guys are hateful, I know where they're coming from and what their argument is. They're not even allowed to observe the fact that immigration is being used as a weapon to displace them, just like outnumber them. So yes, of course, they still have to make sure they marry, have lots of white children, raise them right, do what God wants.
Yeah.
But we have to acknowledge at the same time that they are using immigration as a weapon to get voters to vote Democrat and replace these people.
But how are they being replaced? Like
outnumbering them.
Become
the majority, government,
white people the...
They can make us the minority.
But what I'm confused on is that it almost seems like, from the outside that white people are allowing it to happen. Meaning, like, what's stopping them from getting busy and then having more, babies? If they're flooding with immigrants and then,
abortion?
a trillion immigrants, then what's wrong? Why can't white people just make a trillion babies?
Well, the argument would be, look at the education system and how they've basically communist tactics. They took over education, take over colleges, and just like with liberalism, look at who's leading those causes. It's white people, white kids who were raised to hate their culture, hate themselves, and be those weak white people who just apologize for whiteness and let everything be taken from them. Like they go in for that shame. Right. So I think their argument is recognize that there are people using these tactics, brainwashing children to hate themselves and give up their country and their rights, while they pump up these immigrants and that view that like they're better, we're evil, let them take everything back.
And then there's the people too that are born and raised in different countries. Then they come to America and they want to push their agendas from their country onto here. When it's like, well, why'd you come here if you want it to be like the country you came from?
Right.
It's just interesting.
Reap the benefits, but yet still have their comfort of, which is, the facts. But I don't know, they kind of bring me to a thought where, like, we kind of talked about this on the shows, where Hungary.
Yeah.
You guys
sure.
remember?
Yeah.
They were paying white people to have babies.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that conversation.
What were you? It just brought me to that point. Do you guys think that it's good or bad to, and people in the chat too, care
to have an incentive?
To have an incentive. So like to be paid, white people to be paid to have, the incentives. Do you think that the incentives are good?
Amen.
For people to have?
Absolutely.
I noticed at that time people were comparing it to like welfare and stuff like that. But I think it's different because with welfare you're getting paid to do nothing.
Right.
As to that is an initiative. It's like a reward. It's like if you do this, then we'll give you this.
Raise a family, have children, preserve your culture. Which is what people don't understand is that the reason why they want to come to these countries, and I have to understand. My mom came to this country from Salvador.
You anchor
So
baby?
yeah, I'm partly an ankle baby, first generation, but my dad's been here forever.
Yeah.
He's white, European. So they come here because of the culture and the nation that was created by these people.
And the opportunity.
These European descendants. But then when they get here, so many of them fall for this, communist brainwashing that they want to destroy everything, and they think that they have ownership, as if all the benefits and things that they see that are good just existed here in the land. That there was just all this opportunity. That it wasn't created by the very people that they hate.
America's just an idea.
Yeah. So. What they want is actually a result of this culture of these Europeans. So they should respect that culture and preserve it. And if anything, it's nothing wrong with it. Hey, be Latino and proud American, but fight for the right of white people to preserve it.
Well, this is where I disagree with that, because like why is it that the culture attached to the Europeans have a color? You know what I mean? My thing is like why can't the culture just be what the culture is? Meaning like you have
You have to be a specific race.
Right. We take it broader like a son of God, like a son of God is like. Son of God is the Son of God, and in God's ways and the way He does things and His standards and becoming perfect is its own nature.
It's a way of life.
Its own culture in a sense. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody's thing is to get to that. Even it says in the Bible, the Jews and the Gentiles. You know what I mean? Like the sinners and non-sinners. So it's like the goal is to get to that. We're gonna call it culture. The goal is to get to that type of nature and culture. But it's not pertaining to anything.
I
So
think
that's
too,
where
like
I'm
a lot of
confused,
people keep score, like with what races did what, and like and if you are like, say I make music, right, and you could, because for me I don't believe that people invent anything. I think we only discover. I think that God created all things, and then human beings are able to find it. And then celebrate it and reap the benefits of loving it,
Right.
But I notice with specific cultures, like music genres, right?
Right.
Like, you got Chinese music, and then you got, soul, Black American soul music, which I get. But it's like, nowadays I notice, like, people could say I'm a cultured vulture, right? They'll be like, oh, you're writing the backs of black people because you're creating black music.
Right.
When to me, it's like, I don't think of it as I'm stealing black music. I see it as somebody who is black may have discovered that thing, and then now we all get to. It's like saying whoever invented electricity,
exactly.
like anyone who uses electricity now is writing off the backs of white people. Like I just don't have that mentality,
Well, that's the thing. Exactly. It's like that. That's where it kind of gets me, because it's like shouldn't we all should just want to be right, and we should all just be trying to get to what's right, and whatever process or whatever environment right gives. But it's like I think it gets tough when we try to add the color to certain things.
It's divisive in a sneaky way.
How I would answer this is it's not that the color is important. It's that those people of that ethnicity and cultural background who happen to be white overwhelmingly create societies that most people enjoy. If you look at Europe look at Liberia, great example. Country created to give black slaves their own piece of land in Africa, and they used the Constitution as a blueprint. They basically copied and pasted.
Yeah.
And if you look at Liberia, the conditions that they're in, it's not the same. They had the same Constitution, the same rights, the same starting ground, same blueprint. But look what their culture created. It's far different than what German Europeans would create. Right. And it's not that it's a racial thing. It just happens to be that they overwhelmingly tend to organize their societies differently.
Exactly.
And appreciate that difference and not let people convince you that it's okay to destroy it or dismiss that, hey, they just tend to make pretty good societies.
Yes. Well, see, that's the thing, is that's where I get hung up on, because that's true. All that's true. Even the white people tend to build things, all that's true. But it's not that it's the white people and the people you're talking about who tend to build those things. It's that their values is what tend to build those things.
Right.
And we have to preserve that.
But we should preserve.
It's generations.
But that's what I'm saying, is that I feel like we should preserve the values and take the color out of it. meaning like because
Absolutely.
only because then that's when it does become a color thing because yes, those white people happen to be doing the right thing, but they just happen to be white that they're doing the right thing.
Right, and
You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
that like in our DNA or whatever it is, like if
Right.
you have generations of families that are staying married
Right.
and having kids and doing it, that's why when I realized that America's culture is that it was based off of Christian values,
Right.
family, God, and in our bills
Right.
always said in God we trust. We say a pledge of allegiance,
Yeah.
and I never really realized that until I got older and like examined and realized, oh,
Yeah.
white people do have a culture, and that when you over time families just keep passing down and down because I think that if everybody had that, like you said, that it becomes the values,
Right.
not the ethnicity or anything like that.
Right.
It's just the values and the way of life, and that
Right.
over time you build and you get stronger and stronger and get better and better.
Right, exactly, and like to bring to the point is like let's see the people in Hungary who they need the incentives because let's just say and I'm not saying that that's not true. They may be dying out, and then they may be being brainwashed in the schools. Like you do see that, and they're brainwashed, and those values and stuff that they carried are like dying off.
Yeah.
But the message that should be preached is the right message of just being right, becoming born again, being a son of God, and that will allow the people, no matter who it is, to overcome, and then maybe those people who are being wiped out will come up and and start the movement again. But the message to me just seems like, and I'm just talking here. The message to me should be like, well, let's figure out how to get people to see what is right,
And that
and
poses
then
the
those
question.
people will
The
come
question, well, what is right? Is right something that comes from within that we just know, or is right something that is taught? Like like if you're a kid and you're raised in the woods, from like, do you know what right is?
So
Right.
with that, so they with like say that Immigration Act, and there's been a lot of organizations which happen to be of a certain ethnic and religious background,
Right.
which a lot of these white nationalists always call out.
Right.
And I definitely agree. In the end, your real family is your Christian family.
Right.
If they have the same true values, no anger, that's your real family.
Right.
But there's definitely a plan by certain people to demonize whites and drive them out of their own lands and use these immigrants who have no desire to adapt, no desire to respect those values.
Right.
They want to bring their own values, smash it down as if it's going to exist here. And I think what we're going to witness is look at LA.
Yeah.
Look at these cities that are taken over by leftism.
Yeah.
They start to crumble. And do we want the rest of the country to look like that? And is it wrong for white people to call that out and say, hey, we are under attack? It's not just because we're white. They are using that as a trick.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what they're wiping out is our Christian values and the fact that the majority of whites happen to be Christian, not Muslim,
Right. No, yeah, I do agree that they're white and they're Christians and they just happen to be white.
Right.
Yeah. So I agree with that, and I agree that there should be something to acknowledge the fact that we are being targeted because we're white, but I think that I just think that the message should not be trying to. I don't know.
I think I know what you're saying. That the way I would word it,
Yeah.
and the reason why I stay friends with these guys online and don't cut them off because I don't judge them.
Mm.
But I try to have my own twist. I've been, especially lately, I speak up on it and I call out these attacks on white people.
Yeah.
I'm only 75% white.
Right.
But you do it in the end because it's like Jesse's principles. Jesse's a black man.
Yeah.
You're a black man, 70%.
Right.
But he has those same Christian values. He has that. He knows what's right.
Right.
So I hope, my hope is to teach those white nationalists, or at least not teach them, but maybe by example,
White nationalists.
they'll see that, hey, look, I do see see that you're under attack. I see the culture's under attack.
Right.
As a white person, you feel like they hate you and they're using that against you.
Yeah.
But we don't fight back with the same tools. You don't use anger and focus on the race issue. Like, call it out and say, hey, they are using that tactic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But lead with the spirit.
Yeah.
Be an example, because look, I'm not going to turn my back on Jesse just because he's black.
Right.
Because he's obviously a full American. Like, he gets it.
Right.
But we should acknowledge, I think people who, if they are a good Christian, acknowledge that white people are being destroyed and they want you to hate them and their culture.
Yeah.
And they're making it a race issue. So like
Yeah.
everyone's afraid to touch that. And no one
And
wants to even talk about
So
it.
you just want to, not to cut you off, but you just want to get people to acknowledge that the white culture is being looked down upon because of them being white.
Yeah, I think it's not that. I think the real threat for these people, the ones who, whoever it is, everyone's got ideas of who it is, the JQ, but whoever it is it's the devil behind all of them anyways.
Right.
So what the devil's trying to do is destroy a large demographic of people who happen to be Christian,
Right.
overwhelmingly
Yeah.
Christian, and
Yeah.
those Christians happen to be overwhelmingly white. And
Right.
they have cultures that seem to build good societies.
Yeah.
So to me, the reason why is because they're a threat to the devil. And he's going to use
Right.
any and all other races and people and nations to
Right.
tear down that last big nation that's in his way.
Because there's a fine line between, because I don't see myself as a victim, right? And I don't want to ever see myself as a victim.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say I'm a victim because I'm white, because I can see what's happening.
Right.
Like I can see it, and so I'm trying to grow into being able to speak on what I see is true
Right.
without being angry or upset, and just being able to talk it out. And,
Right.
and be able to have people disagree and hear what they think, and I think that's important. But yeah, my brain just
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But yeah, no, I get that. I mean, because they happen to be the people who are being attacked happen to be the white Christians.
Right.
And
like the idea
it's
of
not
white
about
privilege.
the fact that they're white. It's the fact that because people view they're the ones that tend to be the ones with more values, more morals, that they're
like
being targeted.
They're the last strong Christian demographic.
Right.
Like,
So they want to take it. Yeah, they're trying to take it
If
out.
the West falls, it all is going to look like the third world.
Because what I see from without being a victim is that a lot of things these days are pushed for equality, right? But if I'm looking through the lens of equality and real equality, because we were only equal to start the race
Right.
from the starting point at the same time. But there's never
Right.
going to be an equal outcome, because whoever runs faster, whoever works harder, is going
Right.
to get to the finish line first.
Yeah.
So, but I can see through that lens of equality that people, like when you use stuff like white privilege and saying just because you have the color of your skin,
Yeah.
you have an advantage, or stuff like that, where it's not equal. If that's what you think, because people can say in the name of equality that they're pushing for equality, but then their tactics are not equal. Because I really see people. I believe in you just as much as I believe in me.
Yeah.
Skin
Exactly.
color has nothing to do with that.
Exactly.
And the world and America shows that there's very successful people of all
Right.
ethnicities and all races.
Right.
And if Oprah could be a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
Or P. Diddy could be a millionaire, or
Right.
whoever, LeBron James, they're doing better than I am.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to blame it on anything. I'm not going to say it's because I'm white or whatever.
Right.
I know it's because I get what I deserve.
Right.
And for whatever reasons they are, it's because of my choices. It's because of the way I didn't. If I was in some kind of music deal and it wasn't working out, it's because I couldn't see it.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, it just falls on my
Right.
lap. I never want to be
There's
the
not
one to blame.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I have a question here to follow up about it. What if what if the world became all just mixed babies? No white, no black, no Mexican, just all a bunch of just mutts.
I see it.
But they were mutts that were Christians, born again, of God. What would be the problem?
Well, I see it as.
Well, that's a hypothetical where they're all Christian and doing right, so you can't. Of course, it would be right.
But I see it like this.
Right.
But I don't see that happening.
That's
not the way it's going to work.
See, you got the whole world, right?
Right.
And the whole world is one world.
Right.
But then you have countries, and then you have states,
Right.
and all those things protect us. So if they pass laws in California,
Right.
like they're doing, it's going to crap.
Right.
Like crap, I have a way out, and I can go to somewhere else, right, where the
Right.
laws are more conservative or whatever it is that I like.
Right.
If everything was just one, it's so much easier to be controlled.
Right.
Whereas if
What
it's
do you mean?
one by one, if you the laws to take over the whole world, if
Right.
you were an evil person,
Right.
you would have to change the laws one by one, the states.
Right.
And over time, you'll see, I don't like what's happening in California, so that's not the way to go.
Right, this is not my tribe
people
anymore.
would- exactly.
So I'm gonna go
So
with
if
it.
everybody was a mutt, then there wouldn't be that that separation to be able to see what, if shit hits the fan, who's like people
Well,
need
see,
to
well,
be
that's the thing.
broken in groups
Well,
so that not everybody is destroyed all at once.
But why? But why? See that? But even if this is how I see it, is that even if they were all mixed, there still would be separate groups. The groups of people who are doing right and the groups of people who are doing wrong.
Yeah.
Like, because I just see it as like say if
But
we're
we
all
should be
mixed,
all
and
human beings.
right. But like, I just say like, if we're all mixed, hypothetically speaking, we would all gravitate to what we believe is, the right thing. Like, we would still gravitate to, okay, these group of people are. That's just how I see it. I don't care if we're mixed, not mixed, whatever it is. My point is that I just want to be around the right people, right people who are right. And like, if we were all mixed and there was no more white people here, or all white people, died out because they were brainwashed, my thing is just I don't care. Because
you heard that, white people.
I don't care, because then I just want good people, and then I would rather fight for good people, which I'm sure that you guys do too, but fight for good people in general, opposed to
people that love what's right.
Yeah, people love what's right, but I do get the fight that there is a target on white people, so you do want to fight. For them, because they're wrong. The people who are doing the attacking are being deceived at what the real battle is.
I mean, if a white guy commits evil, I don't defend him like the way the black community just tends to defend any black person involved in a white on black crime. They just blanket defend them. I wouldn't do that with a white person, and I wouldn't certainly, just because you share my skin color, you're not my tribe. My spirit family would be you guys because you have the same faith.
Yeah, my tribe's not based off of physical appearance.
But with I think the spell that I want to contribute towards breaking, and what I'm speaking up now about, and why I will always defend these guys who are on the far right, who people demonize, and I defend their observations. Is that for example, this 10-to-1 rate of blacks attacking whites violently, 10-to-1, which is extremely high.
Does that mean that every 100 white people kill a black person, there's 1,000?
1,000. So it's astronomically high, and that cannot be explained by racism or anything.
And there's 13 to 15%.
13% of the population, but it's not 13% committing it, because that's women, children, and whatever. It's maybe like 6% committing 50% of the homicides, 90% of black deaths. So the media is complicit in this spell that they've taken over since, like Jesse's talked about, since about the civil rights. They've really taken over and brainwashed everybody. Even Christians who mean well will not let these white nationalists speak up, and they automatically write them off and say, you're crazy if you think white people are being targeted. They are absolutely being targeted.
So you're defending them, and not defending them in like the left way.
Yeah, not that they can do no wrong.
Right.
But their observation is absolutely correct.
You're defending them because of they're people who have values and morals and ethics that happen to just be white.
Right, and what they observed, that there is a concerted effort by media in different groups in power, and unfortunately that group involves all kinds of people, blacks, whites, Jews, Christians, Catholics, who are trying to demonize whites, and behind them is the devil, but they are trying to go after white people and white culture. They want them to go away. And that's why there's such a bias, which people can't explain, that 10-to-1 rate, but most people have no idea that exists. They still believe, even a good normal Christian would be like, oh my God, whites are just so racist. And so who's really racist if it's 10-to-1 blacks on whites?
And that's what I was talking about with the equality, looking through the lens of equality, like saying stuff like, only white people can be racist. And then they'll say it's systematic racism.
That's always been
but systematic, it means laws. Like, what laws are there that are holding anybody back based off of a race? There isn't. Everybody has the same equal opportunity. Just not the same equal outcome. And I believe that we should all be able to have the opportunity the freedom to discriminate if we want to. Because that's our freedom. I was like, if I want chocolate ice cream and I don't want vanilla, that doesn't mean that I hate vanilla. That just means that I want this. And if you're starting a business or whatever, it's like, if you're gay and you want to have only gay people, are you discriminating against straight people? Maybe you just want to have it to be a gay company, and that's cool. Like, do your thing.
I agree. I'm not against people wanting what they want. And if it's on the other shoe, like if all black people, if it's on the other token where black people were the ones to be
Token blacks.
if they were the ones that were being attacked and they're the virtuous ones, then you would say that you would do the same thing.
Yeah, I would say, hey, this is weird that whites are attacking blacks 10-1, but everyone in the media and everyone's common sense tells them that whites are innocent. Yes. And that's why it's crazy. There is a spell that people refuse to see.
Right. I agree with that.
And it may not be delivered properly by some of these white nationalists. They come off too strong. But I understand, like Jesse would read, I know where they're coming from. They're angry.
Right.
But their observation is not wrong.
Realize
it's like white nationalist rings to people is such a bad thing, right? Where if you're a black nationalist or a Mexican nationalist, it's okay. Just like the KKK. Is like is oh my god, right?
Yeah.
But then the Black Panthers is like, oh no, that's
they're fine.
White power or black power, they're really the same thing.
Well, right.
So we got a call.
Yeah. Call from Living the Dream.
This is Matt from Indiana. Matt from Indiana. Indiana.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's cracking, bro? You white bastard.
You white devil.
I am. What's going on?
What's up, man?
Hanging here with Mr. Friday.
You can see what's going on. Shit.
I can, but there's a little delay, and I can barely hear you guys on the phone.
Really?
Sorry about
that. You got an Obama phone?
Really? No, I paid for this. I paid for the Obama phones too. You guys are talking about the white man being under attack, but I'm seeing people like Ben Carson and Justice Clarence Thomas, who's Alan West. All those guys are getting attacked just like the white guys. I think it's not a color. I think it's more of a, I don't know. They act Christian, so they have that thought process of self-responsibility, and you go and you make it without the affirmative action, without the hate laws.
True.
I think that's just an addition.
But aren't they using? Isn't part of that tactic? Of course, I believe it's the devil trying to destroy Christianity and God on earth. Right. But they're going after the white demographic as that last big group that was overwhelmingly Christian. Like just the whole idea of white privilege, lying about statistics, the media always painting whites a certain way, and look at just movies and all the movies and radio.
It's like the combination of everything, right? There's white, there's Christian, there's straight, and there's male.
Right.
All those things are demonized some way.
Right. But what about the Middle Eastern Christians? Those aren't white.
Of course. But our battle here in America, which was majority white, is we need to acknowledge that it's happening. It's not just because they're white. That's the part of the deception.
Well, yeah, to go off with what Richard is saying too, though, isn't his name Matt?
Matt,
is that the fact it's really Satan going against Christians and Christians who are trying to do right and be right, but these Christians so happen to be majority white. So then the people who are doing the attacking are looking at these people. Like these white people who are Christians, they're the problem. It's the white people, but it's really the Christianity that they don't like. But because white people hold the majority, of people who stand up, do the right thing, or whatever the case is, they're being attacked in the shallow sense from the people doing the attacking. So I get that point too, but I also understand what you mean by. I mean, there are black Christians who are being attacked too, but
there's just levels of it. If you happen to be all of those things, you're going to be the one that's hated most.
Right, exactly.
Makes the most hate.
So if there was a bunch of Ben Carsons and
what's that?
I said I'm following you on that, but I think if you're going to stand up and you're going to beat this. Us Christians are going to have to stop talking like that. We're going to have to stop talking about the white men. They're the majority of Christians. They're this, they're that. I mean, in this nation they are. I mean, it's one of the few. I mean, I think whites are only, 11 to 13% of the world population.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's so much deeper than all that. And yet we get stuck on talking. I mean, we can talk hours on the phone or on the show about this stuff, but what are we doing about it?
If we don't break that spell,
it's like you guys were.
If they already have a racial spell cast over most of America, and you just say it's a Christian faith thing, how do you break that spell so that blacks who are Christians but they still have that anger towards whites, you need to break it so they can understand that, hey, you've been fooled. It's actually, you guys cause more of the violence and crime. It's not whites, and really they're using whites, and they're using you to destroy Christianity.
And plus, there's a false Christianity that's happening.
Yes, I see that. I see that, but, you know, you can't lead a horse. I mean, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I mean, it's, you know, it's like Jesse says, man, they just got to suffer. And if they suffer and die and they never see it, then...
Well, see, I agree with...
That's them.
I agree with you there, Matt. Like, that's where I'm at, too, in the sense that, like, if the white population is dying out because of the fact that, see, I look at it from the other end, like, if the white people are dying out because they're not getting it, you know, or they're not getting the message, that doesn't bother,
right.
You know, it's unfortunate, but it doesn't bother me in the sense that, like,
you
know,
get what you deserve.
You get what you deserve, because it's like, at the end of the day, like, you should be standing up. If you're the white Christian, you know, that who's doing the right thing or whatever the case is, then, and you do all you need to do, and yet you still get wiped out, then, like, you know, wipe your hands off and keep it moving, yeah, because at the end of the day, you know, you can't just, you know, sit up here and always stay trying to fight for. We should just promote and push what is right.
Yeah.
And if the white people, you know, or whoever, they get it, they get it. They don't, they don't. And if they happen to be wiped out, I think the issue is with people is that, you know, they're gonna. It's an issue, but it shouldn't be an issue about white being wiped out. We should just be, you know, people who are doing the right thing.
Christians being wiped out.
Right.
Right.
But I think it's good to be aware of their tactics, because if we don't explain that, like, show the demographics, show the statistics, that way they can break that spell, and then you say, all right, now we see that it's the devil using all this to go after God.
Yeah.
So please realize the white man is not your enemy,
acknowledge,
and they're not crazy for feeling under attack, and they're not crazy for being worried that they're going to be run out of town. Yeah. Like, that'll be if we can cross that bridge, bro, the devil's done. We'll defeat him. But if they're scared to do that, and they don't want to talk to white nationalists, they're not going to fix that problem.
I understand. What are you guys doing to prepare for what's coming? I mean, you know, God told us that, you know, you got to prepare, lock your doors, keep your eyes open, or this strong man come in and steal your belongings.
Well, I'll tell you that's.
So I mean, you can take that however you want, but you know, it's pretty plain. No, and then here's another thing, you know.
Well, really quick.
When Christ walked.
Well, real quick, back, because that's a good question.
Go ahead.
I want to answer that. Is that like I think that something is being done. Is that people, you know, we're trying to become right ourselves. You know, I'll speak for myself.
Right.
Trying to become right myself and do my best to, you know, not like I'm out here trying to be an example, but just trying to be right and be an example, and that's really all, you know, we can do. You know, because
well, the example will follow. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to try to be an example.
Right.
It'll just happen.
But there
I mean,
is,
just like everything else, it'll just happen. You'll wake up one day and, oh wow, I just don't drink no more. I don't smoke cigarettes no more.
Right.
Hey, look, I'm losing weight. Don't even know why. Not even trying. I mean, it just falls away. I get that. But here's the thing. You know, when Jesus wrote in, you know, back in the day when he was there and he was preaching and they wanted him to lead an uprising and throw the Romans out. It sort of looks a little like it mirrors that today in this country a little bit. I don't see the nation being saved. I don't see God looking favorable upon the U.S. I don't see a nation that murders 70 million babies before they can breathe. And now in some states you can do it if they were born. I just don't see any favor from the Father on a nation that has done that. I don't. It's like, it's not that I've lost faith in it or hope.
Right.
I just see the evil that's happened, and we are all part of it. We didn't stand up then. We're still not standing up now. They've sold those baby parts. I mean, it's ungodly what's going on out there.
I agree.
And I just think, you know, like you said, Joel, you have to take care of you first. So you go inside, you find you. Hopefully God will show you and your mistakes. Because, like you said earlier, it's like, I want to see that I'm wrong, because then, wow, I'm blessed. You actually let me see it.
Right.
So if I see it, then you see it. You just know. So I think, man, I see a lot of talking. I mean, it's been 2 months. You guys locked down even more. Everybody's talking about freedom, and no one's ever actually had it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just kind of like, man, you guys ought to probably be getting your land now. Interest rates are cheap. You know, go buy.
Right.
Joel's got his own dance business. I know what they pay dance here for a month, so I could only imagine what they pay out in LA.
Right.
So, you know,
No, you
so
got-
Joel, get that land, get your house if you haven't yet. You know, Rich, quit waiting, do it, just do it. Trevor,
right.
don't hem haul around. Don't ask your dad nothing, right? Just go do it.
No, yeah, you make a good point in the sense that, you know, people have to start doing, and I think that, you know, if we continue to, you know, the certain people just continue to, you know, grow and do the right thing, and like I said, just become an example, we are going to, you know, be led in that direction. But I will agree that there is a lot of opinions being tossed around and not enough going to do. But we just got to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, and I think like for me, I see it as like it's a process, you know, in waking up yourself. It's like anytime you get something new, you want to share it. You know, what's the good in having anything that you can't share? So for me, I like to find my clan, I suppose, which is not white people, but it's people that love what's right too, and getting that you know, inspiration and it has to come from, you know, conversation first, in a sense, you know. But maybe I'm wrong.
Well, of course.
Oh yeah.
And you know how they used to do it? They'd break bread with each other.
Exactly.
You know, you do it over food. I mean, it's the basics. I mean, can any three of you walk out that door and survive for a month without stepping into a restaurant or going to a grocery store or just living off the land? I mean, could any of the three of you just be dropped off in the woods and
Oh yeah,
survive?
there's at least 3 old ladies down the street. I would rob them.
Right.
Well, I know I don't want to say what would
that's
happen, because I know God's with me, and
Right.
in those moments, like I know that I would be led to the right way. I can't say
It'll
what
be
would
the
happen.
manna, right? It'll be
But
the manna.
Well,
Guys, it's already in you. I mean, I think if this hasn't showed you what you need to know as a man, and that's, you know, you don't have to live that way, but you at least have to know how to do it. You at least have to know how to be dropped off in a desert, know how to drink. You just have to know how to do that. That's just part of being a man, because you never know what's going to happen, and it's been such a easy cakewalk participation trophy life for the last 30 years. It's been insane. So, you know, the only reason why you don't have riots in the cities right now is because the lights are still on and the phone's still on, you know, and the internet's still on. If it goes dark, you guys are...
Oh yeah, we're screwed.
I mean, right. So, I mean, you know, you got YouTube. You can watch YouTube, learn what's edible, what's not edible. I mean, it'll be easy for you guys in the winter out there. I mean, you know, you don't get a lot of snow where you're
I
at.
definitely want to move and go north and do what you're doing and have land that can produce food. You know, the whole white thing.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is kind of like, I'm not a Bible expert, but the way I understand the story of how Jesus defended the prostitute Mary Magdalene,
right.
it's kind of the way I look at these guys. Like I've without, you know, just in the conversation I had with some of these guys who people would call crazy Nazi racists, like they're not. Like I see that they're just trying to get a point across, but no one wants to look at their observation. And I've seen them also say, "Wow, I love Jesse." So they can't be Nazi racist because they don't hate people.
Right.
What they feel is that they're being targeted and no one's looking at any of their observations as valid.
Right.
And I feel if we speak up as Christians and let people know, hey, this is a spiritual battle, but stop blaming this group for everything,
Right.
and understand that they're not nuts,
Right.
that we could get some understanding and that we could protect that person on the floor who's about to get killed and stoned to death.
Right.
And that's how I look at it. Like, stand up, speak up, and don't just be scared of talking about race because you don't want that label. You can call me what you want. Like, Jesse, I don't care. Call me labels.
Right.
But I'm not going to let them just demonize this people anymore.
Yeah, I don't like
was too
labels
quiet
either.
too long.
Yeah. No, but I think...
Exactly. I understand.
Yeah, man, I think that, you know, people are out there, it may not seem like it, but people are out there waking up and are doing something, and, you know, what they're doing is just by, you know, speaking for myself, just by waking up and being led, you know, stuff is happening, and, you know, it may not seem like, you know, the whole drop the people off in the woods type, you know, scenario happening, but there is, you know, people who are waking up and are being led to do the right thing and are being led to you know, go buy a house, build a family who's doing the right thing, protect your family, go on the front lines, and protect your country. Protect, there are people, but they're growing. People are just waking up. You know what I mean? So stuff is happening. Stuff is changing for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely stuff is happening. A lot of people are waking up. I'm just afraid it's just not enough. I think if everyone stood up now and tried to take back the republic, it would be squashed quick.
I think
there would be a huge hammer come to. Oh yeah.
I think too, like when you're saying that we should. What are we doing about it? Like even coming on here to stream and talk to people, I think is something in itself because it's allowing people that are afraid to speak up. They see us like, oh, he's black, he's white, he's Mexican, white, and they see it like because that's a lot of people are just afraid to offend somebody. They don't want to say the wrong thing, and so that if they see people that are like
I'm
doing
not one of those guys.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm definitely not one of those guys that's afraid to offend
But
anyone.
like in LA
Definitely
especially, there's a lot of them, man. For sure.
Oh, I know. There's a lot of them here too. I mean, Bloomington's San Francisco of the Midwest. I mean, they don't have the poop on the sidewalks yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah. No, I want to get my few more guns.
No joke. Indy's lost. I mean,
you want to get that RV, man.
Do what now?
I think we might get that RV. But
man.
you sent another one.
97?
I don't know how we would do that because it's in Indiana.
Well, I got miles with Southwest that in Maryland, obviously it's cheap to fly. I just
in Indiana,
I'll get the tickets.
What'd you say, Matt?
Well, if you find one in Indiana, are you talking about the bus I sent Rich today?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's in Seymour. Yeah, I was just saying, you talking about that 97, and it had like 50,000 miles on it. They're laminate, and those laminates pull apart, so you want to get a newer one. 99's not too much newer, but you can look at it, the bus. If you need eyes on it,
it's cheaper.
I can Skype on an iPad. Well, yeah, they're going to be cheaper here. And like you said, you got Southwest. I mean, I don't want nothing out of it, I don't want nothing. I want you to see you guys get your RV. I could care less. I'll help you. I got time. I'm really not that busy. I mean, it looks like it. I got all this crap going on, but
no, you're living the dream, man. You're living the dream because all the crap you got going on, is stuff that you want to do. It's not that you're forced and you're a slave to anything. That's the dream. You got real freedom to do what you want to do.
Well, I do. I got a bad beta body, but it's all right.
It's
it
a
might
dad
take
bod.
me a week longer than it take you, huh?
A dad bod.
No, dad bod. No, I got dead nerves dying and RA pretty bad, so I lock up sometimes. But in the past that'd get me down. Now it's just like, well, I can't move today, so I'll go paint something, or I'll just go listen to music, or I'll just blow Chad up. I'll go mess with Marcus Mays and Chad or something. So I mean, it's when you get knocked down, you got to find a way to walk. I mean, you just can't give up. I mean, it's kind of like Job, So life is what you make it, and if you put yourself in a matrix that's been fed to you your whole life through the TV, the music, your schooling, your parents not knowing no better, you end up not even knowing how to function, and then you end up wearing masks, waiting in line at Costco for toilet paper.
Hey Matt, so, when you're working outside, do you talk to yourself and say, "Yes, sir, massa"?
No, I don't.
That's what T said. He said, "That's the kind of guy that says, yes, sir."
No, sometimes it'll be like I'll yell at myself maybe once in a while. I don't know. I mess something up. I drop things. My grip's just not what it used to be. But I'm not complaining. I got chickens going. I got wood milk coming out Sunday. Cut this wood up. Yeah, I mean, it just falls in. I mean, it's just like Jesse says. I mean, once you start to wake up and you start getting out of your head, your thoughts, you see what it is. The silent prayer's a must. You got to do it. If you don't, you're messed. It just sort of happens. And like I look around today, I mean, we got market in the morning, and I'm looking at chocolate chip muffins and peanut butter and chocolate chip cookies, and then a couple gallons of maple syrup. So, but anyone can do that. You can do it there. I mean, Trevor can. He doesn't have a kitchen, but you know what I'm saying.
The whole world knows Trevor.
I mean, if you guys want to look at that, I can barely hear you on the phone. Rich, Trevor, if you guys want to look at that, Rich has my phone number. Well, it's probably on caller ID. Give me a call. And I mean, if you want eyes on it, we can go down and look at it for you. No problem.
Is that far from you?
If it's something you,
Is that far from you?
Seymour? No, it's just down the road. In fact, you know, I'm telling you guys to buy. Me and the wife are looking at, well, check this out. So here in Indiana, about 25 minutes down the road south from me, there's a town called Paragon and Gosport. They have lakes, and we're looking at a 680 square foot half-acre bungalow with a private dock and a slide into the lake. You want to know how much that's going to cost?
How much?
$50,000.
Wow.
50.
50 grand. And there's about 8 of them down there. So it was like, the wife brought that up, and I'm like, yeah, I think it might be time to buy another piece of property. I mean, interest rates are low.
Yeah,
So
this is the
50
best time.
grand, 50 grand on a half acre on a lake, private lake, you know, no one just, it's just yours and whoever else lives around it. Man, that's like, well, what's that come out to be like? $271 a month on a 30-year. You probably cut it down to 20 or 15.
So can you?
But I mean, if you guys keep waiting around,
I was always told
Go
that
ahead.
most people don't finance land, but can you finance that land without having a property on it? You don't have to buy it outright in cash.
you mean, well, yeah, you could buy it right out with cash if you wanted to.
Because I don't have.
I mean, because you
It'd be
know,
nice to finance it, just to like
even
drop a
that-
down payment.
oh yeah, finance it. Well, you know, a house payment and a mortgage, that's only like 10 to 15, 20% of your credit score. So, I mean, you're not going to damage your credit if you default on it real bad. People think you will. It's really easy to fix on a home default. There's so many, good Lord, there's so much paperwork in buying a home. It's ungodly. It's like it takes 30 days just to sign papers, to escrow money. It's a mess, man. But, you know, once you get through it, it's worth it. Because, you know, I can go out, like, from my porch, scream to whatever I want, shoot. You know, you guys need that. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And I really
RV,
want to
just
do those
it.
things, but me personally, like, my dad, like, I wasn't raised with, like, my dad was the type to always, like, you know, be, talk about how we didn't have enough money, even though he made good money. And he never made business decisions and investments and houses and property. So, like, I never saw that example. And so, but I know I don't want to ever have that be an excuse. But I know that that's part of why I'm afraid to jump off a cliff or do something, because I've never seen it actually be realized where it's like, wow, you know, you can do that. And that's what I want to overcome, is to be able to just take that chance, be able to see the opportunity. It's like, I don't know, I've never bought any land, I've never bought a house, never, you know, done anything like that. So
You
it's
bought
like,
a knife.
What's that?
You've bought clothes. You've bought shoes. You've paid for an Uber. You can buy land. I mean, you don't need. I mean, you know, your dad did what your dad did. You got to do what you want to do, and if you're not careful, you'll end up doing exactly what your parents did. And I got a story about that one.
Yeah.
But you know, I'll save that for Jesse.
Like, cause I get in my brain
you know,
where it's like, you know, I don't have, I make enough money to survive, right? And I got some money saved a little bit, but it's like, I don't want to, you know.
Trevor, your room rent is hundreds of dollars more than my mortgage, man.
Yeah.
When you say you make enough to survive, I'm going, what? Survive?
Right.
So, I mean,
but
that's
see,
just
that's
the
the thing
difference
is,
in cost of living from where I'm at and you're at.
my
So, I get
reality
that.
is different than, you know, in my brain and everything, and that's one of the hard things
Yes.
about life, is that what I see as reality, I don't even realize is true or false. It's like, that's why I want to be more of an observer, so I can see, because your reality, growing up, you know, I'm from LA and from out here, and so I only know what I know, you know. So yeah,
Right.
maybe I'm wrong.
Well, that RV thing, if you guys, yeah, just call me, Rich.
Yeah, I'd be down for that, man, because I want to do that, and I think it's getting worse
Just
out
call
here.
me. And
I don't want to wait until
Trevor,
it's too
you
late.
got to get a hotel room. You guys can stay here. You can stay in the camper or tent. I mean, I got a pull-out sofa. I know it's weird. People think it's weird, but, you know, that's just what Christians do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
So,
weird. I don't think.
You know, I don't have, you know, what you see on Facebook. I mean, that's my life. I mean, I really don't sugarcoat nothing. I mean, I found it easier to go through life that way. This is what I am, who I am. If you don't like it, That's your problem.
Right.
No
And
apologies.
same here, man. I've
So-
had that mentality too. But being in the music industry, being a brand, being an artist, having a manager and stuff, I was like, it was forced upon me to try to like do the smoke and mirrors thing a lot. And I'm just like, I'm where you're at. I want to just be honest. And if I come across great, it's because it's going to be honest. It's not going to be because.
Trevor, there's a pretty amazing music scene here in Indianapolis and Little Nashville. I mean, just all over. There's outdoor venues everywhere. I mean, we have so many freaking festivals. And if you get that RV, you could do that here, Kentucky, Tennessee. You could do it in every state. It would pretty much just be on tour. And like you said, you wouldn't have no manager this time. It'd just be you. So it'd be all up to you. Your house would be right outside in the parking lot.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's enough people across the country that would let you crash on their land. I mean, I got a camper trailer.
I'm working on this invention.
So
I'm working on an invention that I'm working on this little invention so that if Joel ever comes on a trip, you remember those old Nintendo pads where you would run like and do the track thing?
Yeah.
Well, I want to hook it up to the solar panels so that Joel can dance and generate solar power.
Right on.
So it'd be literally powered by dancing.
So I'll be a slave. That's
Right on. That would be great. Hey, Joel, did you bring Trevor's syrup by chance?
Oh, I forgot about that. That was a good idea. He sent the syrup.
Oh man, appreciate it. Appreciate it for the syrup. It's really good, and I'm a fan.
Thank you.
It was maple, right?
He said it was. That means he already dominated it. I need mine.
It's so good,
told
man.
you
That
could
stuff
drink
was so good.
Well, you know how the Horman's Pickles is advertising. I'm looking for that next year. So
Nice.
we're looking at expanding, and we're going to be going, hopefully, selling on Amazon.
Right
I mean,
on.
not that I'd want to do it on Amazon, but, the shipping and handling.
I'll make sure to eat Trevor's too.
I bet they already are taking little spoonfuls, putting it on their little breakfast.
Why isn't Jesse a quart?
I know.
I mean, I think I see you guys' gallon total.
Nick says it's still there, Trevor.
My man.
You're gonna love it. He said it tastes amazing.
Yeah, you can't find some of those colors in the stores, some of those grades. Those big boys, man, they get out there and they put defoamers in it, and then they put a vacuum pump on the lines that are tapped into the trees, and then they suck the sap out. And it's like, man, trees, if you're gonna give it to me, give it to me. If you're not, I'm not gonna take it like that because you can't. I mean, the trees control the syrup. So, the shape, the flavor, the color, the grade, so whatever. But anyway,
it sounds
you guys
amazing.
just need to get up and do it.
Well, yeah. If you want to put eyes on that RV, I'm not mechanically inclined, so I have to I'm just judging by the spirit of the person when I talk to them if they're being honest about the condition of it, and then obviously I know I'm taking a chance.
Oh yeah, I don't pay retail for nothing. So I mean, if I got to hear it run, and if there's something wrong with it, I'll be able to tell you just by hearing it. So I mean, you give me a call. I'm not free tomorrow. Water heater went out today, so I got to do that tomorrow after market. And then Sunday, I don't do nothing on Sunday. I catch Hake and then Jesse, and then that's it. Monday, are we good? Monday, we got anything going on Monday?
Monday? Nothing.
Monday,
Yeah, man, whenever works for you, I'll make it work.
Right on. Well, I mean, with this COVID, the governor said we'd have to shut down the photography studio. So I wasn't real happy about that, and because it wasn't essential for us. We're free Wednesday, but since the high school closed down, they were doing this thing for seniors, and everybody was like gifting the senior and adopting the senior and buying them gifts. And we've got one that graduated in February this year, so he's had teachers and adults drop by, give them candy and clothes, and it's been crazy. So me and the wife were talking, and she was like, hey, I'm going to gift 3 senior shoots. And I look at her, my eyes get real big because, photographers, they can charge pretty much what they want. And I was like, what? No. And then we lost 3 shoots, but we didn't really lose it. We picked up like 15, 17, good Lord. And then a couple more coming. So, I mean, it's really, I don't know what to say. The pandemic's been good for us. I don't know. The opportunity, the economy's changed. It's going local. If you guys can see it, you'll come out of it rich. I mean, you'll come out of it set. I mean, it's just like, man, you just got to be. You get up and you do what's set in front of you. It's that simple, because I can't explain why it happened.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how it exploded here last year. All I know is I'm not angry. After talking to Jesse and everything, it just all changed. So, you got me rambling.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to get
We'll hit you up
here's
on
another
Monday
story.
and check and see, or Wednesday you said.
You can call me Monday. I don't think
I
I'm
want you to call me. Don't ask no questions. Don't ask.
Oh, Matt, before
How much is what?
before we let you go, a question from the chat wants to know, what do you think about buying land out of state? Is that something you would do or that you recommend?
I mean, if it's just land with no house on it, I mean, I wouldn't buy property to rent it. I'd buy farmland out of state. You can make a lot of money renting farmland. But no, out of state would be fine. I mean, if it's just hunting, woods, I mean, but if you got a house or property on it, depends on how often you get there. I mean, you just can't let a house sit empty. It'll mold, mildew. You got to have some heat and air flowing through it. So, but yeah, it depends on what state it's in. I wouldn't do anything in California. I mean, if Jesse ever leaves California, you know it's going to slide off and catch on fire.
Oh, yeah. If Jesse leaves, get out.
I mean, it's over. So, yeah, do it. Just do it. I mean, 5 years ago, I wouldn't be looking for another piece of land or looking to get up and do a market or doing all what I've been doing. But, you know, a man's got to have a thing. I mean, Doc said, hey, you can't do that no more. And I'm like, well, crap, okay. What am I going to do? So for several years, it was doing nothing, and it about killed me. And then Jesse come across my YouTube. So here we are. I was missing a part. I was missing a key, and Jesse had it. So, but anyway, yeah. Just get a hold of me, Rich. I can barely hear you guys. I'm gonna start putting labels on these cookies. Peanut butter chocolate chip, Rich.
Yeah.
Nice talking to you, man. This is my first time actually realizing that you were the one with the syrup. So nice talking to you.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. I just want Trevor to get it. You know, I know how a lot of people try to take advantage, call in, want to promote something or something, get something out of it. No, I got from Jesse what I needed.
Oh,
And then, you know, I sent it to you guys just like the little card said. And if we don't make it out there for the 30-year bash, you know how people do with churches? You know, I got a bunch of this stuff. I'm going to put it in a box and send it to you because, you know, every Sunday I'm there. I mean, we're there. This house is there. So, I mean, you know, whatever we can this year.
Matt, before you sign off,
yeah.
let the people know how they can, what's the best way to reach you if they want to get some of your products.
Well, right now, Facebook. I mean, Facebook you can. Or
Matt
if you're
Kruger
in
with a
Indiana,
K.
come to Martinsville.
Matt Kruger, like Freddy
Come to
Krueger.
Martinsville, 9 to 1.
Okay.
So, yeah, Facebook would just be Matt Kruger. I don't do anything else. I got a YouTube channel, only 3 vids up, but there's some more coming.
There you go, people.
Oh, question before I get off. I'm
Shoot.
being like corn pop and tea now, trying to hang on. Hey, I just bought a bunch of strawberries that was on sale. Would you guys like to know how to make jam? I can film it and put it up on YouTube. I'm going to be doing it here in the next day or 2.
Yeah, you do it. I'd watch it.
Alright. Alright, right on.
All right,
All right,
buddy.
man. We'll appreciate it.
I'll put that Alpha Wing video up.
Thanks,
Alright,
buddy.
peace, guys.
Bye.
Peace. Yeah, I know. We've been on here for a minute. It's been awesome.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Joel, thank you, man.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me. That was
Is it
fun.
Corona dat?
The little chat, pros and cons. I can knock it off the list.
He's like, nah, I got what I need.
No,
Corona won't be coming back.
no.
Hopefully
Yeah,
you will
I've got
come
to
back.
the bathroom.
Because I haven't seen you.
Oh,
yet.
you guys go to the bathroom?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, right there.
Oh, just in.
Yeah, just tell everybody it's okay.
Yeah, that's why I got it a few times.
Yeah, if you don't-
I feel like Jesse, huh?
He's pissed. Oh no, the show's over.
To accept, press 1.
Could be Lynn. Hello.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
it's
Christmas,
Lynn
Lynn
Chen.
Most wonderful time of the year.
What's up, Lynn?
I just wanted to say hello to Joel in town.
Joel says, "What's up?" He's coming back. He's just going.
He went to the.
He's going number 4.
He went to the powder.
10-1. Mushroom.
Yeah. He's been mouth breathing in my ear.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I thought he said he had to go, but I guess he just had to go to the restroom. So we're still here. So what's good with you, Lynn? I saw you dropping some facts in the chat. You're very, very, very good observations.
Factorious. What's the facts? I didn't get to read them.
Lynn was, I'm going to summarize it because I can't remember, but he was talking about, when we were talking about the whole white nationalist thing, how he was observing also that these cultures, which happen to be white, do have a propensity and a tendency to build these civilizations that people find desirable. And that there's nothing wrong with that observation.
Well, I've never built in nothing. Shit.
So, Joel, that's Lynn Chen.
Lin? Oh, what's up, Lin Chen?
Hey, Joel. Giant robot lives matter.
Wow, this is the voice.
Who would win in a dance-off, Lynn? Joel or a robot Joel?
Joel would win. He has that flow.
Right on, Lin. I didn't know you existed till now. I thought you were just a robot on the chat.
A bot.
I am just a robot.
Experiencing life through digital code.
You know what people don't realize is a robot is a bot that rows a boat. It's a robot.
Simply down the stream.
What do you be thinking of it?
It was right in my face.
Do you have any questions for Mr. Joel Friday, Lynn?
No, not really. Well, kind of wanted to get at the 3 paragraphs I sent him.
Say what? You gotta speak up.
Speak it up. Speak up, my friend.
I don't think he finished the sentence at the paragraph and what they mean to him.
Can't hear crap.
Sorry, Lynn. We can't hear you. Can you say it a little louder?
Obama phone.
Is this any better?
That's better.
A little better. As loud as you can.
Oh. Joel, what did you think about the paragraphs I wrote?
Which ones?
All of them.
You have
Just
to.
the 3 pertaining to the time and prayer.
It gave me a headache.
Oh. Sorry.
I couldn't comprehend and read at the same time. I'm not that talented.
It's okay. I can't think and speak at the same time. I don't know what I'm saying right now.
Well, robots aren't self-aware.
No.
I heard he was black and Asian, right?
He's Jamaican and Chinese. Is that it,
Jamaican
Lynn?
Chinese. Black
Yeah.
and Chinese mixed.
Yeah, Jamaican Chinese.
So it's Chinese.
He's Chinese or he's Jamaican.
If he was a girl, he'd be vaginese.
But nice to hear the voice. I was like, who's Lin Chen? Is it a boy or girl?
T Warrior thinks you're Elon Musk, Lynn.
No. I don't have that kind of IQ.
Do you think Elon Musk is gonna become like Tony Stark?
He is Tony Stark in a sense.
He is Tony Stark.
Well, man, I feel bad because I know Joel's been here for a minute and he came by. I don't want to keep him too long. His schedule, he usually goes to bed by 6 p.m.
Yeah, he's
has
2 hours
dinner-
past his bedtime.
has dinner at 2.
Okay, sweet tight, Joel. Night, guys.
Good night,
Take
Lynn.
care,
man.
Lynn.
See you, Lynn.
Thank you so much for the super chats and for calling us now.
Well, any closing remarks, Joel?
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. And I haven't seen you guys in a minute, so it's nice to come back during this whole this pandemic. Look at it.
Pandemic.
It's actually not a pandemic, it's a dem panic.
Right. No, but I appreciate it.
Do you know the song?
It's been dope.
Pros and cons, pros and cons.
Is that a thing?
Hit it.
Theme song.
Pros and cons,
Pros and cons.
the world ain't your dad, but it's really your mom. Pros and cons, the world blames dad when it's really your mom.
You guys need an outro and an intro.
I know. We need Nick. Get the phones. Nick. But yeah, how do they reach you for people who don't know all your social media?
Oh, nice. Thanks for the plug.
That plug.
You can go to the best way, because I don't know who's watching, but the best way is the Instagram. I'm pretty active on the Instagram, which is at The Gifted of Dance. You can go to the website if you're old school, thegiftedofdance.com, where it has all my information.
The Gifted of Dance, not just Gifted of Dance.
The Gifted of Dance, yes. And then if you want to go to the portal that has all the websites, all the Instagrams, all the YouTubes, you can go to joelfridaytv.com. I actually did a reality series not too long ago. All the episodes are up there. You can check it out.
Joel. It's Joel.
Joel Friday.
TV.com.
No, Joel. JoelFridayTV.com.
But it's spelled
Joel. When you read it, it'll read as Joel Friday.
Right. But all the music, all the videos, everything is up there. JoelFridayTV.com. Check it out.
Because they might think that if they hear Joel, they could be like Joelle. They might think that's how it's spelled.
I knew a girl in my class, and her name was Joelle, spelled that way. And ever since I seen that, I'm like, how dare you?
Yeah. That's the only reason why I said Joel.
And if you guys are in the LA area, Joel does do dance lessons. We've taken some. It's real fun. So are you still doing those, right?
Still doing the classes.
Still doing them. No mask required.
Yeah, any levels. It doesn't matter how talented you are. You can have zero talent. Joel will teach you how to dance.
Right on.
I mean, if he can help Trevor, he can help anybody. T. Warner said, he said, tell Joel to shout us out on JLP.
Right on.
I don't know. We'll have to leave that up to Joel if it's revealed.
He might get fired.
Yeah. Other than that, Trevor.
Peace out. I sang it again.
Good night, guys.
Pros and cons. The world blames dad when it's really your mom.